Ellen McCauley, and I'm at Pray It Off in Syracuse, New York. And we have talked a lot about this session about living in the present. And I think it affects our weight loss dramatically. Because if we're thinking about our past mistakes, our past diet failures, if we're worrying about tomorrow, we are not concentrating on the here and now, just like Father Nguyen said. But again, someone came up to me and said, Ellen, I know, oh, it sounds so good. Don't live in the past and don't worry about the future. But you see, it's my mind. My mind. I can't control my thoughts. I just have negative thoughts. And I want to say, don't worry about the past, don't worry about tomorrow. But I do anyway. What can you do about my thoughts? What can you do about my mind? We're going to talk about that tonight. Look behind the food log. How to be positive. You say I can instead of I can't. You smile more. You be optimistic. Remember you are in charge. Be thankful. Forget about regret. And do nice things for others. Well, you see, that all sounds so nice, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound so nice? Oh, I can. And your mind's going, really? No, you can't. I don't know why your mouth's saying I can, because we all know you can't, girlfriend. Because you've tried so many times and you failed, and then your mind goes, I have such conversations in my mind that on the outside it looks like I'm just standing here like this, and my mind is going, brr, brr. And sometimes I try to get away from myself. Like I run over here, but I'm still there, and I go over here, and I'm still there. I can't get away from me. I'm there everywhere I go. Sometimes I go for a walk and say, I'm going to get away from Ellen, but there she is on the walk with me. So, how do we be positive when inside we know it's all fake? I do think. I was in sales my whole life. When I first learned that as a Girl Scout, all you had to do was sell these boxes of cookies to people, and you can win awards. I turned my eyes to heaven and I said, I'm going to win the top prize. And I knocked on every door there was. And who won the top prize? Me, of course, because I never gave up. Now, hi, want some Girl Scout cookies? Salesmanship begins when the customer says no. When someone says no, I'm like, but have you tried the Thin Mints? I saw you in the neighborhood and you look like you've lost weight. Are you sure you don't want some Samoas? I used every tool in my arsenal. I can sell anything. And here's something else I sell. I sell positivism. Because I could be having the worst, awful day. I could be in total pain. And someone can say to me, how are you? And I'll say, fantastic. I've never been better. Are you kidding me? Great. Or I could be having, back when I was in sales, they'd give you quotas. And if the better you did, the higher your quota was for next year. So does that make sense? You do good, they raise your quota. So I looked at a number every month for like 30 years. So there were certain days where I kind of wanted just to give up. I was doing so terrible, and the phone would ring, and I'm like, hi, Ellen, may I help you? I never said, oh, this job is awful to the customer. I always was positive. So sometimes I think it helps to fake it until you make it. Because I'll tell you something. The more optimistic I act, I actually feel more optimistic. If I came in here tonight and said, listen, you guys, I'm so tired, I'm just going to sit in a chair, and why don't you just read the packets and talk amongst yourselves? Because poor me, I work so hard, I try so hard. No, I say, Lord Jesus, Son of God, give me a little mojo here. Help me to be on top of the game. Help me to be enthusiastic, because I want these people to live in the present. And you know who else I want to live in the present? Ellen McCauley. Because I'm a little crazy, and I'm the first to admit it. But let's talk about this article by Marianne Williamson, who I really love. She wrote some best-selling books, Age of Miracles, Return to Love. Love her. She says, is it really possible to use one's mind to turn dark thoughts into light? It's so easy to believe that external things hold the power in our life. We think money or lack of it determines our abundance. We think other people's behavior determines our happiness. We think success or failure, as the world defines it, determines our self-worth. Well, guess what? None of that is true. Because ultimately, our thinking, more than our outer circumstances, that determines whether we live lives of harmony and peace or of pain and despair. It's our thinking. And that is hard. The world is but a reflection of what we think. Take Syracuse. In the past week, all I've heard is people complain. It's so hot, it's so hot, it's so cold, it's so cold. I'm like, what do you want from me? It's Syracuse, you know? I can't help it if one day it's 81 and the next day it's going to be 40. I can't help it. And the thing is are we ever Goldilocks? Is it ever anything just right? Is the oatmeal just right? No. We want to look at the world and say, it's going to hell in a handbasket. The politics are awful, the government's awful. Or do we want to say, I'm alive, I don't have any pain right now, I'm just going to be positive. God created us to co-create with Him a world of harmony, of peace, of joy, which the love in our hearts gives us power to do. With every thought we choose heaven on earth or hell on earth for ourselves and for all the world. Wow. We choose this ourselves. When our minds move in harmony with love through forgiveness or prayer or the simplest tender thought, then mountains move and the universe shifts. You know, there's a lot in life that gives us pain or anxiety, fear or grief. We need to lift that up to God. Because when Barbara said, God is, to me, the only person, God, I shouldn't say person, God helped me lose weight and keep it off. Because I tried everything under the sun. One person said, I have someone I'd like to join, but they think it's kind of wrong to ask God to help us with our weight. Why do we think that? Why do we think it's wrong? Because if we said to our husband, you know, honey, I need some help here, would he say, it's wrong. It's wrong for me to help you with your weight. But if your husband says that, I suggest you get a good lawyer. give him the children. No, only kidding. So, the thing is, usually when you ask someone for help, do they diminish your request? If you say, oh, could you help me? Like if there's a young fellow walking in with me and I was trying to get my cart over the curb and it was heavy, and I said, oh, would you mind helping? He goes, oh, of course. Did he say, hey, why don't you lift it yourself? I'm not helping you. No, he said, yes. And he lifted it up over the curb. God said, if you go to God and you say, God, I need some help with my weight, does he say, hey, honey, I got bigger fish to fry? And speaking of fried fish, why are you eating so much of it? Ellen told you not to eat fried fish. No, God says, I am here to help you. Even today, when I was at the Parkinson's conference, I haven't been feeling too hot this week. I'm all good. Everything's good. Don't worry about me. But they had these beautiful muffins. They were quite lovely. So I'm thinking, well, it's Thursday, you know, and I don't have to weigh in for a week. And there's a cranberry muffin. It's cranberry. You know, cranberries are good for you. You know, it's a fruit. And I said, but what's on top? Ooh, that sprinkled sugar. Ooh, yeah. And that is pretty much a honker muffin. And I said, but I really want it. And then I went, Lord, do I really want it? And he goes, oh no, Ellen. You do not want that muffin. And he's right. I didn't want the muffin. So we need to pray about it. God wants us to say, I'm here. Help me, Lord. Now, did you ever wonder if you have faulty thinking? Let's see. Do you have any of these self-defeating messages? Do you have, in small group, you're going to look at this list and say what you have. Okay, do you externalize and internalize? Do you say, oh, everybody's doing this and everybody, and the weather's so bad, blah, blah, or do you sit inside and go, everything's great, but inside you're going, I'm dying here. Do you label yourself as fat or a failure? Then you will live to that label, even letting it define who you are. Do you quit before you even get to the starting line? Back then, I never even talk about name tags until a few weeks into it. Because there are people who come the first night and they just quit. And it's not just because they don't want to talk about God or they think I'm a weirdo. They quit because they think, do I really want to lose weight? I want to, but I don't want to go every week. I don't want to talk about it. And by the way, Beth, thank you for doing those name tags. Also, fortune telling. I'm going to blow it anyway, so I might as well just eat the cake now. Do we do that? Or all or nothing thinking. Because you ate a piece of pie, do you tell yourself, I've blown it, I might as well eat the whole thing? Also, catastrophizing. I love that word because I live in a world where I constantly catastrophize. If I get a phone call and it's from Microsoft telling me that if I don't call them right back, my computer's going to die by the morning, I say to myself, well, that's not true. I'm not going to call them back. But what if it is? What if it is Microsoft? No, it's not. I go on and on. Or if I get like a weird text like, hey, I met you last week and here's my phone number. And I'm thinking, I didn't meet anybody last week. And who is this person? What if my phone got cloned? I bet you my phone got cloned. How could my phone have gotten cloned? And I go through all this catastrophizing. And then I think, they're going to get my bank account. They're going to steal my money. All my accounts are tied up together. Does anyone else catastrophize besides me? Am I the only one? And then the next thing you know, that cranberry muffin is looking awful good. You know? Also, you think your unreliable feelings are the truth. You think, well, it must be true. That's how I'm feeling. We don't always tell ourselves the truth. You always come down on yourself and your internal dialogue. Like someone didn't say hi to me today. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And they kind of walk by me. And I said to myself, well, maybe they didn't hear me. And then I think, oh no, they heard me. They just don't like me. Why don't they like me? I'm awful nice. I'm nice to them. What have I ever done to them? I don't understand. Well, Ellen, some people aren't going to like you. Just face it. Not everyone's going to like you. But why can't they all like me? I'm just so nice and I want everyone to like me. Stop it, Ellen, stop it. And then I think, you're crazy. And then I have to go back to the prayers. Poor me thinking. You think to yourself, why am I on a diet? Why can't I eat what everyone else eats? Poor me. Poor, pitiful me. All right, Bob, I'm going to stop right there.